it's good. Oh, what a day, I tell ya.
Well, Mac, I missed you last week. Where were you?
Oh, yeah, right, last week. Yeah, I was, I was just really tired and I had to take a nap. You know, I need my beauty rest and all.
Oh, right, yes, of course. Well, we missed you. You know, we did a play with Clarabelle and Jack the Donkey, and then with Humphrey the Camel. You know, we all did a little play, and you missed it.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry. I would have liked that. What was it about?
Well, it was all about loving your neighbor.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh my, oh dear.
What? What's the matter?
Well, you know how I said last week I had to miss because I was sleeping?
Well, yeah, why? Why was that?
Well, I couldn't get any sleep because my neighbors were making a big old ruckus. They were having a party or something.
Oh, boy. Who's your neighbor?
Oh, it's the chickens, you know. They are really a rowdy bunch, them chickens. They go crazy. They get the music going, and they like to do, like the chicken dance and all those kinds of things. It's crazy over there.
Oh, my. I'm so sorry you didn't get much sleep.
Yes, me too, but, well, now that you're mentioning about loving your neighbor, I'm just kind of like, my goodness, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Last week we talked all about how this guy, a Samaritan, loved a Jewish guy, and that was just crazy. And because the Jews and the Samaritans did not get along.
Wow, and yet he showed love?
Yeah, he took care of the guy and even let him take him on his donkey and take him to an inn and paid for a lot of stuff. It was amazing.
Wow, that's pretty hard when I stop to think about that, though. You know, those chickens, I have to love them and actually do things to help them and show them the love of Jesus. That seems hard. I don't know if I can do that.
Well, guess what? We talked about that earlier, that Jesus gives us the love to do that.
Oh, right. It's quite a process there, Lammy.
It is, but, oh dear.
What is it?
Oh, I hear somebody coming. I think somebody's going to share about another story today. Who is it?
Oh, look, I think it is that crazy guy. What's his name? Bartholomew,
that's it. He's coming. Let's go hide and we can listen to the story. Come on.
All right. Oh, hey there, kids. It's so great to be back. Yes, it's me, Bartholomew. Do you remember? I'm so excited to be back with you today because it is just a great and awesome day. I hope you're having a great day because this is a great time to be talking about the Lord. You know that bloke, Andrew, that pastor guy? He wanted me to come on and just talk to you a little bit more about the last thing on parables. That's right. This is the last thing. And I'm so excited. I just can't stand it. You know what? Before we even start, I love doing this crazy thing that guy Andrew taught me. It's great. So I want you to stand up and we're going to do it together. It's called Form the Banana. I know, isn't that crazy? It goes like this. Form the banana. Form the banana. Form the banana. Form the banana. Then you peel the banana. Peel the banana. Then you peel the banana. Peel the banana. Then you mash banana. Mash banana. Mash banana. Mash banana. Whew! Wasn't that awesome? Oh, it is awesome to be back here. It is so great because this is the last week we're going to be talking about parables. And I thought I just heard some little guys talking over here, but they disappeared. I didn't know where they went. But I think they're somewhere because I heard them say they want to listen to what I have to say. Well, that's all right, because I want you to be listening and paying attention. And maybe when you see them again, you can tell them all about this. But that guy, Andrew, wanted me to review what we've already talked about and then go into one last parable that we're going to be talking about. Here's what we've been looking at. If you remember, there's these verses. This verse that says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And I'm going to try this. I'm not very good at this because that guy, he has way too many emotions. But we're going to try and do it together because he taught us to remember with our emotions. So here we go. It's love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind. And love your neighbor as yourself. That is crazy, isn't it? So what do we talk about? What have we talked about? Well, my first time here, I got to share with you those 3 stories. If you recall our little friend here, he was the one who was the prodigal son. But before we got to the prodigal son, there were three together, remember? The first one we talked about was the little lamb who wandered away and the shepherd went looking for him. Remember, I'm Bartholomew the shepherd, so I understand that. You want to leave those 99 and go look for the one. The second story was those coins, and the lady, she lost the one coin. Went looking all over for it until she found it. And the last one was the prodigal son, the boy who said to his dad, I just want all my money, all your money to be mine. I'm going to leave. And he left his father. His father was sad. When he started coming back, though, his father was excited and he forgave him and he had a party. Remember the parties? I love the parties. Now that was the first stories. We talked all about how it's almost crazy that all these things, they started out at home, in the group. So we had 100 sheep, one left. We had 10 coins, one got lost, and then we had 2 sons and one left, deciding to leave his dad. So we had those first stories, all about somebody leaving, and then God being the one to pursue, to bring back, to find, to search. Then the second set of stories, if we remember. Let's see. I wasn't here for that story, but I believe it had something to do with this other crazy man. Some crazy man who was like a master of the household and big rich guy. And he wanted to throw a big party. He's my kind of bloke, you know, I love my parties. So he was going to throw a party. He invited all his friends. And guess what? All his friends who should have been like, yes, party time, pizza, love it. We're like, oh, I can't. I have a field to buy and oxen to buy and getting married, all these things that they just decided not to come. But did the guy go, oh, that's it, no party? No, he actually went and said, get everybody, bring all the lame and the blind and the poor and the people way out there. We're going to bring and fill my house with the people who should be in it. So then, that was another picture of God bringing the people way on the outskirts, coming into the house, coming into the party. Last week, that Mr. Andrew told a story with our friends all about that good Samaritan. And this is crazy because this goes back to love your neighbor as yourself. And it's all about who is my neighbor. And you know what? Jesus did not say, your neighbor's that guy right next door. No, he said that your neighbor is that person that you may not really like. Or it may be a person who's just very different from you. Maybe a different skin color, maybe a different amount of money, maybe a different education, maybe different in so many ways. But instead of saying, well, they're different, I can't love them, God says, reach out and love your neighbor, all people around you. So, with those 3 parables we've already talked about, today I get to tell you the last one, which is so incredible because it talks about God's big, huge kingdom and how it all gets started. So in the book of Matthew, if you remember, we've actually been talking mostly about the stories that came from the book of Luke. But this week we're going to be talking about a story from the book of Matthew. And in Matthew, he tells many parables in the book of Matthew chapter 13. And in that chapter, he talks about the kingdom of God. And what does it mean? What does it look like? What is this kingdom of God? And when Jesus was asked about it, he told this parable. And he said the kingdom of God is like a mustard seed. What? What is a mustard seed? I really don't use mustard too much myself. Hot dogs, not my thing. I like a good old hamburger, but mustard is really good. And if you have a mustard seed, it is so small. If you see that, it's a tiny little seed. And Jesus said in the book of Matthew that the tiny mustard seed, though it is so small, when it's planted, it will become a huge bush-like tree. In fact, it will be so big, it's called a small house. It is so large. Look at that. I don't have a man next to it, but it's basically like a man is right there. This bush is like then a house to birds. It gets so big. And what is that saying? Jesus is saying what starts out small, what started out with Jesus himself, spreading the kingdom of God is like that little tiny seed planted in the earth. It looks like it's not going to be much. But what happens? It gets huge. And that is so amazing because we're not just talking about plants here, we're talking about people. And what is that picture of? That is a picture of what we see in the book of Revelation. In Revelation, that's the last book of the Bible. That is when we will see what it looks like to worship Jesus forever. and be in his presence. It will be mind-blowing, I'm telling you. But the beautiful picture of that is that the kingdom of God will be as fullest and biggest as ever. And what does it say? It says, behold, a great multitude that no one could ever number, from every nation, from every tribe, from every people, from every languages, standing before the throne, the Lamb, which is Jesus himself. Isn't that incredible? Woo! I'm telling you, that's going to be the best party ever. And I can't wait to go. I hope that you can go too. So when we're talking about in the Bible, look, I have my Bible right here. I hope you have yours at home too. That in the book, again, it's in Matthew. I hope you can look it up because there's a lot of other good parables we found in there. In chapter 13, we're talking about, it says, he told them this parable, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of seeds, yet it will grow. And it is the largest garden plant that becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. And then he tells this second parable that I'm just going to quickly talk to you about too, because it says, the kingdom of heaven is also like yeast. What? What is yeast? Yeast is that little tiny grains of almost like flour, but it's not quite. It's kind of a strange little consistency. What do you do with it? You make bread, right? We like to make pizza. I hope you like pizza because we use yeast. You make the dough, you start putting it in there, and then it rises, and then you push it down and it rises. Well, this is what it says. It's like yeast that a woman took and mixed into the 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. What does that mean? Again, a little bit goes so far. So when we're thinking about it, when you're thinking about this in the kingdom of God, and what is your part to play in all this, is that we're thinking people. People are what really is what matters to Jesus. And when you think about how do I love people, even if it's just that tiniest little step to take, it may just be sharing some food if you have some. It may be going over and wishing someone well, just saying hello, smiling, taking a card. There are just so many ways that you can show the love of Jesus to people who may not be like you. In fact, who might be very different from you. And yet Jesus calls us to be just that little seed. And when we plant that little seed, we are going to grow the kingdom of God to be so huge. So I encourage you today, think about that, pray about that, and I just cannot wait to see what will happen. What will God do? It is exciting times. Thank you so much for having me. I will go now. I hope that you can find, those little creatures. I don't know who they are. Maybe little Lammy. Maybe you can tell them all about what we just talked about. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.
I think he's gone.
Really? Okay. Ready? Okay, yeah.
That was so crazy again. Man, that Bartholomew, he knows how to tell a story, doesn't he?
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes. But I really was impressed, though, with the idea that it isn't just about loving my immediate neighbors, though that is true. I need to love my chicken neighbors, right? But I also need to love everybody, no matter who they are or where they come from. And that is going to be the picture of what it's like in heaven with Jesus. That every tribe and tongue and nation...
I know, isn't it amazing? I can't wait. And it's amazing that we get to do it now. We can love our neighbor as ourselves. And that doesn't mean just the chicken neighbors that we have. That means anyone and everyone. Isn't that great?
It's certainly great. And I just wanted to hope that I can do that today with my neighbors. I'm going to go over and talk to them today and show them the loving kindness that they deserve. Oh, that's a great idea. Come on, Lammy, can you come with me?
Oh, absolutely. Let's go.